And we're live.
We like to imagine that we're so far beyond that, right? That nowadays, like we had, at least we got lethal injection, or even like if you look at some of the like Middle Eastern countries, like I think stoning probably doesn't take that long to kill someone. If somebody gets you good in the head, I think it's probably over rather quickly. They boiled a man alive in Uzbekistan in 2004.
What?
I think he was a terrorist suspect.
Was the water boiling when they started?
It does matter. It does matter.
Yeah. Because if it slowly heats, that's probably worse.
That's infinitely
I mean,
worse.
you can
Well,
enjoy,
it's nice for a little
like
while.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it's
better
enough.
for a short period.
Did you turn the bubbles on?
That'd be horrible.
Guillotines and stuff were around for like a fair amount of time, because that was pretty recent. Because I remember reading that the guy that plays Saruman in Lord of the Rings was present at the last guillotine execution in France.
Whoa!
And I was like, how old is that guy? And he's like, I mean, he's dead now, but I think it was like fairly recently. Like, I mean, in the 1900s, obviously.
Yeah,
I would take the
Christopher Lee was
guillotine.
super old.
I would love the guillotine. Like the guillotine to me is better than all of our modern ways. Like I would prefer guillotine to lethal injection, to electric chair, to gas chamber, 100%. It's just like boom.
Oh,
you're dead.
No, we've talked about this. Firing squad.
1977.
They fuck up. They don't shoot. First of all, they don't shoot you in the head in the firing squad. They shoot.
I
you in
get to
the
pick
heart.
the guy, and you have to kill him.
Deal.
And the last one, the last.
I'm like,
My
they
favorite
gave
joke
me
is
they gave me the blank. They gave me the blank.
Where are you going to shoot
No,
him?
I want to be guillotined again. I want to be guillotined again.
If you shoot him in the heart, it's not instant death. If you shoot him in the head, this mushroom bullet.
Yeah. Just flex. Well, by the rules of modern society, you can walk free.
I was just watching a whole documentary about executions. Not documentary, YouTube video. Same thing. And they were talking about this guy in England who was convicted of murdering this wealthy lady, and he was sentenced to hang. And so they put him on the platform, and they test the platform. Everything's working. They put him on the platform, noose around him and everything. They pull the switch, and nothing happens. And they can look, and they can see the rods are being drawn back. The trap door should be falling, but it won't. And so they're like, fuck. So they walk up, and they're doing that cartoon shit where they're like jumping on it next to him, and still nothing happens. You know, it's like a Looney Tunes bit. And the guy's just sitting there, bag on his head, noose or head in a noose, and just nothing's happening. So they pull him off of it. They pull the thing, trapdoor falls. They're like, all right, reset it. They put him back on there. It won't go down again. They're like, all right, go back to your cell. They work on it for a while. They get hatchets out. They cut. They think maybe the rain made the wood swell.
Yeah.
They cut some wood, the excess wood away. Clickety click, clickety clack. It's working now. Bring him back out. Still won't work. They're like, all right, we got to put this off. We're gonna have to really fucking rethink this whole process. And the judge is like, what you've done to this man is cruel and unusual. They brought him out there and tried to kill him for 3.5 hours. I'm commuting his sentence to a 25-year in prison sentence. And he does his 25 years, and he moves to like Milwaukee out here in the U.S. Back from England, abandons his wife and children. Wasn't a good guy. I mean, let's be real.
Well, clearly,
he probably killed that woman too. But he lived out the rest of his days here in the U.S.
In Milwaukee, man.
I believe it was Milwaukee.
Story would be better if it was St. Louis, where his descendants carry on today.
Yeah,
Taylor's ancestor.
Yeah.
That's
Lenny the Head Morrison.
The head.
I looked at this guillotine thing. The last one was in 1977. So, like, Woody, you're alive. For the last time
I was. Yeah.
I guillotine.
Oh, no.
1977.
Gee,
This is weird.
What country was it where they did it?
Is it France?
Of course. They love that.
They invented
Yeah.
it.
Part of their history. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Not a bright part of history. Well, it
And
depends
it
what side you're on.
I mean, the French Revolution was a pretty big deal. You know, it swept Europe. But no, I would definitely pick the guillotine. It seems so quick and painless, and like all of our modern methods seem so fucking scary. I watching that whole YouTube video. They were talking about this black kid who was convicted of murder and sentenced to the electric chair at like 16, I think. And I guess that they like to torture him. They didn't turn the power up all the way, so he's just like like
wow.
yeah, he survives, and they're like, what was it like? And he's slow. That's the other thing. And he's just like, they was all these colors, just like in a rooster's tail, and everything felt tingly. I don't know if you've ever seen a rooster's tail, it's iridescent. It's kind of like oil and water on like a parking lot. You know, it's like that shimmery iridescent look. All these colors like a rooster's tail. And I'm reading this like, oh, you poor simple man. and
it sounds like Green Mile.
It is exactly like Green Mile.
Yeah.
But they got old Sparky fired back up, and they sent him back in there eventually and killed him. I think he was 18 by the time they finally got it right or wrong, however you look at it.
I hate it when they kill kids.
Well, you know, better them than us.
Why looking at it?
I don't know. I never killed anyone, but I was a particularly dumbass as a young guy, and it's like, you know, like you can't judge a guy by who he is at 16.
You're not even like a fully formed person then. Like I'm so different to what I was when I was 16. Like him.
Yeah, and they had framed this kid. He hadn't done anything.
No, is that part true?
Yeah, because he was convicted of the murder of a pharmacist he had worked for, and everyone said that they got along well. They couldn't understand it. So like months and months after the pharmacist had been like the pharmacist was like shot and robbed, and like months later, the police arrested the black kid. And on him, they found the pharmacist's wallet with his identification. And it's just like, this kid's been, he's been carrying this guy's driver's license and wallet on him for like 6 months after he murdered a man. Nobody's that slow. And it was clear that like the police just had it in evidence, and they were like, we got one. And they just like stuck it in his pocket, because they also made him confess to like some burglaries in like a town nearby. But like, this is like 1915 or something. Getting to the town next door is a bit of a feat for a young boy.
They just cleared out all their cold cases on this poor kid.
Yep.
Yeah, well, back then it would have been like, what evidence do you have? And it would have been like, he's black, and then it would have been like, case closed.
Good enough. I watched a whole bunch of execution stuff. There was a thing about your last meal, and it's a little different than what you might think. Like, not every state provides a last meal. They're just like, yeah, you get the same thing you got yesterday, asshole. And in Texas, the budget is $15. So it's like
$15,
but it's still going to be better than what you've been having. You can have bacon and eggs or something. You know,
I want like a grade 5 like Kobe steak or some shit like that.
Right. Yeah. There's this old country song where the guy's like singing about what he wants for his last meal, and it's all this stuff that's impossible to get. He's like, I want the rear hind leg of a black giraffe fried over easy, but not too greasy. And he wants like a newt's eye, and like the whole song is like impossible things to get. He's like, I'm ready to go, Warden, but let me have my last meal. And like every line is just a more ridiculous thing that's going to be impossible to find. But yeah, I think Florida maybe had $40 for their budget, and then some of the states it was just like, you name it, if we got it, we'll cook it for you.
$40. Come on, give them a break.
In Texas, and then some places, and then some places just don't do it.
If I was in Texas, I'd get fast food. You can get more for $15. You can have quite the meal.
Yeah, go to Whataburger.
What's a crime that you shouldn't get a last meal? Where they're like, you're gonna die hungry.
I don't think there is.
Raping a kid.
That's good. Sure. That's ironic. I like that. Yeah, raping a kid.
I think you should get your last meal no matter what.
Why?
I don't know.
Because it's a decent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not a decent human if they do something fucked up like that.
Yeah, but we're not lowering ourselves to their level, you know?
I am. I'm happy
for yourself.
I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
If they rape a child and we don't give him a free meal, we are not on his level.
What if the child was asking for it?
What if the child was
now
cute?
You've introduced a new element.
Yeah. What was the kid? What was the kid wearing?
Them sexy kids, mate. They made me do it. Damn sexy kids. No.
Kevin Spacey puppy over here.
The Epstein defense. They got milk hormones, and the kids are growing tits sooner than ever, and they're too hot.
They're eating too much KFC. No. I watched a YouTube video on the guillotine thing, and then people still being lucid after they get beheaded, and they had like a guy that did a study on it, and he would like he was holding this dude's like head after it was like detached from his body, and he was like, his study was to like yell this dude's name, and then like apparently like 5 seconds after he was like yelling this dude's name. I assume he was French, so he's just like Jean. And then apparently this guy like opened his eyes and would like focus on him like 5 seconds after his head had come off.
You know what's funny?
So he's like still alive.
I presented that as a study to Kyle and Woody at one point, and then they ripped into me for it. And now hearing you say it, I realize how absurd I sounded. Like
it is absurd. It's fucking, of course it's absurd.
Yeah.
How
would you know what like, but like
he looked at me. You're holding his head in your hands, Bob. He can't turn his head. He looks at where. Now he's looking at me. Oh, look, Bob, he's winking in Morse code.
Look at him. You like shove your hand up his dirty thing on his tongue. I'm alive.
He wants to give you a blowjob, John. Run.
Look at him.
He's really into it.
Get him off me. No.
Anyone got any pliers?
These villagers
Is no one going to stop this? No, really?
Well, we've got an eccentric executioner, but
you're joining in?
You are all witnesses. This man raped me. No, it was because they were like he was holding it, and he said that they were like his metric was that like his eyes like focused on him, like he was looking directly at him. But I mean, it's rudimentary. Like this is at a time when they're beheading people. I think we're just like,
if I were that guy with the hunch, if I were the guy that's like, I'm gonna prove this. Like, there's no one watching over my shoulder. I'd be like, he did it. He did. Oh no, he's dead now. He's dead now.
You missed it real quick.
You missed it real quick. You show me next time. I'll do it again next time. Yeah, that shit's wild.
I want to read this. Ronnie Lee Gardner, murderer, Utah, 2010 firing squad. He requested lobster tail steak and apple pie with vanilla ice cream and 7-Up. He also requested to watch the Lord of the Rings film trilogy while he ate his meal.
I'm not going to lie. Edition. That is exactly what I would say.
That's some good stuff.
Then you could like watch that bit where they're like, the journey doesn't end here. White short.
Yeah.
The guards out there. It's gonna end for you, Bob. You're dead tonight, though. You're not Gandalf.
Fucking the Pippin right there, who didn't rape 13 people.
He's watching the Lord of the Rings. He gets to the end, and they're like, "Do you want to watch The Hobbit too?" No, let's do this.
Just kill me.
I'd rather die.
I want to go out on a positive. It's like as soon as they destroy the ring, it's like, kill me before they go to the rest of it. Kill me on the national climax of the movie, not with the fucking hub in the Shire.
It was pretty interesting to see like how the whole procedure worked. Like they move you from death row to something they call the death house, and you're like 10, 12 feet from the like room where it happens. And it was pretty wild. The last meal thing is interesting to me because what if you don't have an appetite? That would kind of suck, right? Like I feel like that's what would happen. I'd want like my last meal the night before they kill me.
Yeah, it's like, well, he was a simple last meal, 45 Xanax.
That's probably what I would go for. And I'd be like, can I just have like just a bucket load of Valium? That's all I want, you know.
Propofol.
Now I'm saving you money, saving the state money with my final act.
Yeah, my final meal is like propofol and morphine. Kyle, did you want to say something?
I was going to say it's very expensive to execute someone. It's millions. I think they said California had spent like $4 billion executing people so far.
That's just big government waste. It's inexpensive to execute. They do it in Afghanistan for free.
Yeah,
I don't know why it costs $1 billion here.
They push gay people off buildings all the time. They're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, they stone people for being raped.
That is their move.
But the deal is, if they fly away,
they get off.
Case closed. All right, it's fair.